let's take a look at Hernandez. He has a fastball, curveball, slide, and a change. And
5 for 32, and without a steal. This ball is ripped for extra bases inside first base, heading for the corner. At least a double, and with Lofton, you never know. He's thinking 3. Kenny Lofton wants a triple, and that's how this game begins.
This looks to be an off-speed pitch from Hernandez.
Fastball, but don't go away from your fastball. He's throwing all breaking balls here to Lockhart.
The 3-1 misses, and Chipper Jones, 7 for 16 in the series, will come up with runners at first and third and nobody out. McGriff will be next. Struck him out.
Tougher to hit the good breaking ball than it is to hit that little hanger right there. I agree, you should learn from watching great pitchers pitch, and I think the Marlins are learning. Stay away from these hitters.
2-2 pitch, and he gets McGriff swinging. The bottom dropped out of that one.
And remember, McGriff knows they were pitching him inside earlier.
And the key at bat here for Klesko to see if he can really get extension, Joe, on that injured left shoulder.
Can Livan Hernandez get out of it? Yes, he can. First and third, nobody out. He fans the heart of the order. Jones, McGriff, and Klesko. And Greg Maddux.
He has great control. I mean, he works the corners, good movement, but he really keeps everything away. Comes back, but he rarely will pitch a right-hander inside.
Hit him, and it looked to me like White wasn't too anxious to get out of the way.
Well, that's what Maddux is yelling at. He did not make an attempt. You have to make an attempt to get out of the way. Maddux usually does not bother with the runner at first in the first inning.
He goes, the pitch is low and away. It gets by Perez. White with a huge turn at second, and he'll hold there.
I don't know if that was a pitch out or not. If that was a pitch out, that was a bad pitch out.
The 0-2 pitch. Throws his bat at it and comes up empty. Red Heria on the hit and run had thrown his bat at the first pitch, even though it was way outside, and got by Perez.
You know that,
right? The slumping Bonilla in the on-deck circle. 3-1 pitch is low, and the Marlins have runners at first and second with 1 out.
And it sinks down and away.
The 1-2 pitch. Line to center for a base hit that will put the Marlins in front. White scores. Sheffield to third as Bobby Bonilla comes through, pumping his fist as he walks back toward first.
Now he's the guy they've needed throughout this whole series. 1 for 15.
Sheffield at third, Bonilla at first with 1 out on the 0-2 pitch. Hit back to Maddux. He's a Gold Glover. There's 1 and 2, and they're out of the inning. The Marlins settle for 1. Fastball hit in the air to center field. White goes back. This ball's really carrying back at the fence and gone. Just like that, Jim Leyland's 1-0 lead is gone.
One thing I noticed in batting practice, the ball is really carrying to right field and to center field. And that ball was hit straight away center field, and the ball is really jumping out there today. That was one thing I noticed in batting practice. The wind is blowing out that way. The ball was carrying so well there, and Dalton wasn't playing. He said, man, I need to be in there.
3-1 pitch. Bounce toward third, fair ball. Bonilla across the diamond, and that's the first out in the Atlanta second. Center field, White coming in on this one.
Quite a little lackadaisical on that one. He took that on the run rather than camping under it.
Strikeout number 4 to close the book on the top of the second. But Michael Tucker began it with a home run, and we're even again at 1. 3. Second strikeout for Maddux. For highlights from today's football, we check quickly with Greg Gumbel.
Change up out over the plate.
Back to Maddux. Those are almost routine for him. There's the second out.
You can see why he's a Gold Glove. He ends up in perfect fielding position.
2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 for him so far in the game. Tied at 1 after 2. For Atlanta in the top of the second. Braves batting in the third. Called strike 3. And it's the 5th through just 2 1/3 for Hernandez.
Well, he could have done that 3 pitches ago.
That's what Charles Johnson wanted initially. Well, that was right there. Good pitch.
The 3-2 is popped up. Johnson and Bonilla. Bonilla calling for it in foul ground.
A lot of called strikes. Livan has 14 called strikes. Maddux has 8 so far in this ball game.
Chipper Jones struck out his first time. Ground ball to short. Renteria to his left from behind the bag. Just in time. Hernandez works a perfect third. It's still a 1-1 ball game. It's even affecting the country's elites, people like athletes who generally were better taken care of than the rest of the populace. Hits this ball up the middle. Lockhart to his right, backhands, whirls and throws and gets him, with Hernandez not running very hard. Off to Greg Gumbel. The Braves have 2, a triple from Lofton, a homer by Tucker. Again on 2-2. And this time he finishes it.
That's what he uses, and that's what Gary Sheffield uses.
Sheffield on deck. 3-1 pitch. Bounce to short. Blauser charging. And that takes care of Florida in the third. After a shaky first, back-to-back perfect innings turned in by Maddux.
To do it, they started McGriff off fastball in and see if they go back away, because I think they should continue to pitch him away.
0-1 pitch out over the plate, hits softly into center field, and this one will drop in front of Devon White. Scheduled starter Tuesday in Game 6. Ryan Klesko swings on the first pitch, pops it back to third. Bonilla and Renteria, and the shortstop calls Bobby Bo off to make the catch.
Smart play by Renteria. That Bobby was starting to stumble a little bit, and you have a better angle from shortstop.
McGriff, not terribly speedy, leads away. The 3-2 pitch with 1 out. He's not going. And a called strike 3, the 6th strikeout for Hernandez.
Beautiful curveball. He got him looking for a fastball. Now he throws him the curveball.
Release point until he gets to the plate.
Hit hard, and Bonilla short hops the ball. Goes to second. Counsell covering for the force. McGriff leads off with a single, but nothing comes of it. Still 1-1. About the size of a grapefruit and multiple colors. None of them very pretty. Bouncing ball to short. Blauser. It stayed down, but he comes up with it, and there's the first out. Off we go to New York.
Wins. They're tied with Tampa atop the NFC Central. Chicago 0-7 on the year. Bob.
Bobby Bonilla with his second hit of the day. Drove in a run with a single in the first. Here is aboard with 1 out on the 4th.
That's about the same kind of a pitch that he hit the first time. Down low and away from Maddux.
Strikes the first time up. He was going back through the middle, and this time he's going the other way.
Conan. A long drive to left. Sounds good off the bat. Klesko to the fence for the catch. Bonilla now racing back to first, and he makes it.
You have to get the ball up high. You can't hit line drives. Arm speed, but the ball will come out slower, and that's why it's effective.
And that is strikeout number 5 for Greg Maddux. We played 4, tied at 1.
Johnson puts down something that he likes. Let's see what it is. Fastball away.
Well, he has an idea about how he wants to pitch.
Well, Alou.
Shallow center field, Devon White. That takes care of Greg Maddux and leads us to Greg Gumbel. Kenny has tripled and struck out. Mia in close at third. A pop-up. Renteria and Counsell, either one can. Renteria will, and Hernandez works a perfect fifth. Halfway through, tied at 1.
Don't ever embarrass anybody by comparing him to Johnny Bench. But I must say I've compared two people, both he and Livan Hernandez of the Texas Rangers to Johnny Bench. Rodriguez, I'm sorry. They're very similar in that, and maybe in 2 or 3 more years I'll put these guys in the same class, but I still think Johnny Bench is the greatest catcher I've ever seen.
Johnson goes down swinging to start the 5th. Craig Counsell now slaps one to short. Louser throws him out. The Johnson strikeout was the 6th put in the books today by Greg Maddux, who grounded out his only at-bat so far. The Marlins got a run off Maddux in the 1st. He was out of the batter's box apparently when he was struck by that ball, and Gregg has called him out. Let's take a look. He's calling Jim Leland over for an explanation.
Well, you can see his front foot is out of the batter's box, but I mean, guys start with their foot out of the batter's box a lot of times. Outside of the line here. And he said he told him twice. That's the key.
Now Lockhart rolls the curveball to Renteria. The pickup at the other end by Conine. And Lockhart is retired to start the 6th. Well, as you heard Greg say,
well, technically he's on the line, so he's not out of the box.
But he is out on strikes. The 2nd time he struck out today, and 8 strikeouts. Did he get him? They check at 3rd, and Charlie Williams punches him out. 9 for Hernandez through 6. Matching up very well with the game's best.
In Atlanta.
Well, you have to be versatile. Make yourself useful.
That's what I say. Costs a little more to send the very best.
The 3-2. Got him. And that's 7 for Maddux.
Threw a lot of fastballs to White, and then he threw him a changeup. 1-3-2.
Renteria. Chipper Jones has his roller, and that's the 2nd out in the 6th. Of course, with Maddux, there's the true changeup, and then the fact that he throws all of his pitches.
Well, I mean, of what is supposed to be the batter's box. There's not a line there, so
Getting out of that widespread stance and taking a called 3rd strike. 8 for Maddux. Hernandez has 9. They're locked in a 1-1 duel through 6. Maddux only pitched 4 during the year. The 2-2 pitch. That is his 10th strikeout. It's a career high.
And that pitch had a lot of movement on it. It was not exactly where he wanted it.
Recovered from the intestinal virus and ready to pitch game 6 with a 3-2 lead. Strike 3, his 11th.
Man, that's a beautiful pitch right there. Wow, it almost looks like it's straight as an arrow right into his glove.
Messina had 15 strikeouts yesterday for the Orioles before he had to leave. Perez won't strike out, but he will be retired. Counsell has it. Another perfect inning for Hernandez. Stretch time in Florida. Tied at 1.
On a low outside sinker, he just got enough of it and drop it over the head of Jeff Blauser.
And this ball is well hit to right. Back goes Tucker, back by the fence for a leaping grab, but then it's jostled loose as he bangs into the wall. Bonilla to second with his 3rd hit. Replacing Tucker, who had homered and struck out twice. Now a big at-bat for Conine. swinging and hitting it up the middle. It takes a big hop off the mound into center field. Bonilla waved home. Here's the throw to the plate, nowhere close, and taking second on the play is Conine. It's 2-1 Marlins. They've got to get Bonilla and Conine, people like that who haven't produced, got to get them going. They have the RBIs today. Alou reaches for it, rolls it to Chipper Jones, looks the runner back, throws high. McGriff stays on the bag.
Well, Chipper Jones almost took too long.
They pretty much made CJ into a catcher, drilling him as a youngster. Maddux wheels and pegs him behind the runner and picks him off.
Big play that is.
Conine.
Sure, and he is out.
He got him.
Get him right there on the arm.
And now Johnson finishes the inning by striking out for the second time. 9 strikeouts for Maddux, but after 7, he trails 2-1. We asked Hernandez before the game if his family and friends in Cuba could follow this game. He said he wasn't sure. Strike 3. A dozen now.
I'm going to tell you something. I think Gregg has done a great job as we see the Cuban flag there. And then he struck out 3 straight in the top of the first inning.
There it is, number 13, as he gets the pinch hitter Gregg. He is 1 behind the National League Championship Series record for strikeouts in a game, shared by John Candelaria of the Pirates and Mike Scott. He's allowed Atlanta only 3 hits. None since a 4th inning leadoff single by Fred McGriff. And a walk to Lofton, who throws his bat aside as if to say to Eric Gregg, was that one far enough outside the strike zone for you? Another 2-2 pitch. The runner goes. That's ball 3. Johnson's throw. Got him! Senior approves. So does a packed house. Is there anybody better than CJ?
You're not going to throw them all out, but you want them to try when you got that kind of an arm. And that was not an easy pitch to receive it and then throw him.
Counsell chops one over the mound. It's beyond Cather, charging his Lockhart. He barehands it, but he has to eat it.
Stressfully is this? Well, this is a stressful game.
In which he struck out 13, and to this point outdueled Greg Maddux. Plus, he gets a good bunt down. McGriff was going to tag him, then wheels and tosses it to Lockhart. They're out of premium, and this has been a national coming out party for defensive excellence on the part of players like Charles Johnson and Edgar Renteria. Devon White hits it to center. Lofton started in, now goes back, may have misjudged it, but makes the catch on the track. And scrambling back to second is Craig Counsell.
Speed can make up for a lot of mistakes because he definitely made
He can't keep track of them on a day-to-day basis. He doesn't know what the future holds. His whole country is in peril. Maybe pressure means something different to him. Renteria strikes out, setting the stage for the ninth. With the Marlins leading in Game 5, 2-1, and here comes Hernandez to finish it.
What an effort by Hernandez.
Ahead of Lockhart, 0-2. There's his 14th strikeout, tying the National League Championship Series record. He now shares it with John Candelaria and Mike Scott. Line drive caught by Hernandez. What hasn't he done?
What a play.
You do not want to walk him and bring the go-ahead run to the plate.
The 3-2 pitch. Got him! Eric Gregg punches him out on what McGriff thought was ball 4. It's his 15th.